Whether you have given birth or not, you probably know somebody who has. And you probably also know that childbirth is an incredible process. What you probably have not considered, though, is that this birthing process can look vastly different in other parts of the world. I am a mother who has given birth in the United States and have had an interest in birthing practices around the world. I took my interest and did some research, and this presentation has my findings. As I go through my speech, I would like you to think about somebody that you know that has given birth and what their birth might have looked like if they were in a different country. And although there are many different regions with many different customs today, I am focusing on 3 specific countries and their birthing practices: Bali, Japan, and the United States. We will start with my findings from the furthest away and work our way closer to home. So this brings us 9,663 miles away from the United States to Bali. Bali has a birthing custom called burying the placenta. The placenta is an organ that is inside the uterus and nourishes the fetus while they're inside. And it is an ancient tradition in Bali to bury the placenta. The Hindus sometimes believe that the placenta is alive and almost like a twin sibling to a newborn baby, according to Shulkin of Parents.com. And on Balinese ceremony and ritual from BaliSpirit.com, they say that the placenta is washed and then buried on the right side of the northern pavilion if the family had a boy, and if it's a girl, it's buried on the left. And then the placenta is often buried with something to symbolize what the parents wish the child to grow up to enjoy. For example, a book if they want them to grow up to enjoy reading. Next, we will travel 3,424 miles to Japan. Japan has 2 birthing customs I'd like to talk about today. And the first is called Ansai, which means peace and quiet with pampering. Also, according to Shulkin of Parents.com, after leaving the hospital, mother and baby often stay at the mother's parents' home for a month or sometimes even longer. It is cultural tradition that women stay in the bed for up to 21 days with the baby. And this is a lot longer than generally in Western cultures, where women stay in the hospital bed, and when they leave the hospital, they don't normally stay in bed unless instructed to by their physician. The next custom that I would like to talk about is Japan's view on weight gain in pregnant women. In Japan, it's also custom for women to most commonly gain between 7 and 8 kilograms, which in our terms is about 15 to 18 pounds, which is not a lot, and that's throughout their entire pregnancy. In Western regions, women generally gain between 22 and 31 pounds, which is 10 to 14 kilograms, so you can see the difference. So according to the Japan Times, who did an online poll of foreign women birthing in Japan over the last 15 years, one mother named Kelsey, who was given 10 kilogram weight gain allowance, had said that her physicians had told her, "We can't deliver the baby if you put on any more weight. The table cannot support you," she says. "Funny thing is, I ended up putting on 13 kilograms and they delivered my baby just fine." So it may be a fear that the Japan doctors have that, for example, the table might break, like Kelsey said, or they're just trying to look out for a healthy mom and helping her lose her baby weight once she has the baby. So next, we're traveling 6,303 miles back to home in the United States. And the United States also has 2 birthing customs I'd like to talk about. The first one I understand dearly because my daughter actually received one of these baby blankets. So according to Shulkin, a few months ago, when she wrote the article, Quartz journalist Lisa Sellen Davis noticed that in all social media photos, her newborn baby and all her friends' newborn babies were wrapped in the same exact blanket, no matter which hospital they were born in and where they were located across the country. She came to find that this blanket was known as the cuddle-up blanket, also called the Medline, in which Medline started making them 60 years ago, and they are still around today. And I actually have a picture here of my daughter with her when she was born with her baby blanket, the cuddle-up or Medline baby blanket. And see, you can tell, and my niece, who was actually born yesterday, had the same baby blanket, and babies all across the world are wrapped up in this blanket. And it's probably recognizable if you see newborn pictures on social media. The next tradition I'd like to talk about is hospital births. Most babies in the United States are born in a hospital versus home births or birthing centers. The CDC posted that only 1.36% of births in 2012 were outside the hospital, and that is very little. So that makes 99% almost of births in the United States were inside a hospital. So a reason for this might be that it's a common belief that home births are dangerous and more women are choosing OBs to deliver their babies versus midwives. OBs generally only do hospital births or birth center births, while midwives can generally do home births and hospital births depending where you're located. And then this brings us to our conclusion. So inside the United States, we use the same baby blanket generally, and most births are in the hospital. In Bali, they bury the placenta, and in Japan, they experience ANSI and have a low prenatal weight gain. So around the world, you can see that birthing customs can be vastly different. So next time you come across someone who will be giving birth, think about what differences they may experience if they were to be in a different country when they gave birth. Thank you.